Section 1. Introduction. In the ancient world of the Late Bronze Age, a powerful kingdom was known by the name of Alashiya. We find this name written on clay tablets from Egypt, from the Hittite Empire in Anatolia, and from cities along the Levantine coast. For a long time, scholars debated its exact location. Today, most agree that Alashiya was the name for the island of Cyprus, or at least a major kingdom on it. This was a land famous for one thing above all else: copper. Copper was the essential raw material for making bronze, the metal that defined an entire era. Alashiya's story, from about 1600 to 1100 BCE, is a clear lesson in cause and effect. Its immense natural resources caused it to become a wealthy and powerful player in the Eastern Mediterranean, and the eventual collapse of the international system it depended on caused its own decline. This essay will trace Alashiya through a simple chain of causes and their effects. We will begin with the island's geology. Copper in its mountains was the first cause. Its effects spread outward into metallurgy, trade, urban power, and ultimately, fragility. Section 2. The source of power. The story of Alashiya begins deep within the earth. The island of Cyprus is geologically unique. The Troodos Mountains dominate the island. They are ancient oceanic crust pushed to the surface, creating rich copper deposits. Early inhabitants found colorful green and blue rocks on the surface and learned that when heated with fire, those rocks yielded a shiny, malleable metal. Early mining was difficult and dangerous. Done by small teams with simple stone hammers and antler picks, miners followed veins into hillsides, opening galleries and pits. Forests fed furnaces with charcoal. Simple clay furnaces, packed with fuel and ore, raised temperatures with blowpipes or natural drafts to separate metal. The effect was copper ingots, the currency of the Bronze Age. Oxide-shaped ingots became the standard. As demand for bronze grew, mining on Cyprus surged, trade routes multiplied. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, was stronger than copper, essential for weapons, tools, and elite objects. Powers like Egypt and the Hittites needed vast quantities of copper. External demand transformed Cyprus. Larger, organized mines, transport roads, slag heaps, an almost industrial output. Section 3. Harbors of commerce. Copper was valuable, but only if it could reach its buyers. Maritime trade became the next crucial cause. The sea was the highway of the Bronze Age, and Cyprus was perfectly positioned as a hub between the Aegean, Anatolia, the Levant, and Egypt. As copper exports grew, small coastal villages transformed into commercial centers. Towns like Enkomi, Hala Sultanteke, and Kidion grew into major urban centers designed for trade. Administrative buildings, workshops, massive storage facilities, and harbor works testify to their purpose. Sailors from Ugarit, merchants from Crete, envoys from Egypt negotiated for the red metal. Control of ports shifted political power to rulers who taxed flows and amassed wealth. That wealth funded walls, public works, and a class of scribes, priests, and skilled artisans. Life was cosmopolitan. Imported pottery, textiles, faience, and storage jars flowed in, while ships departed laden with oxide ingots, roughly 60 pounds each, turning raw metal into political power and cultural richness. Section 4. A seat at the table. Insatiable demand for metal propelled Alashiya onto the international stage. The king of Alashiya joined the Great Powers Club. The Amarna letters prove it. Addressing the pharaoh as "my brother" signaled recognized equality. The letters center on trade. Huge shipments. "I have sent you 500 talents of copper." In return, gold, silver, linen, ebony, and other luxuries flowed back. State-level reciprocity. With the Hittites, relations were tense. Texts boast of campaigns and tribute, a measure of Cyprus's strategic value. Constant trade and diplomacy made Alashiya a melting pot of styles, languages, and ideas. Local traditions blended with Aegean, Levantine, and Egyptian influences. Potters imitated and fused forms into a distinct Cypro-Mycenaean style. Base ring ware and white slip milk bowls were exported widely. Smiths mastered copper and bronze, incorporating foreign motifs into tripods and four-sided stands. Tombs reveal mixed goods, a vivid record of international connections. Multiple scripts coexisted. Akkadian served diplomacy. Multilingual administration thrived in centers like Nkomi. Alashiya's culture was the effect of its central role in Bronze Age trade, a vibrant, blended civilization. Section 6. Whispers of Trouble. The first signs of crisis. By the late 13th and early 12th centuries BCE, stability began to fray. Rising political instability and warfare. Even after peace, both powers were strained. Sea lane security weakened. Trade grew dangerous. A letter from Alashiya to Ugarit warns of enemy ships off the coast. Leaders prepared defenses. At Nkomi and Kidian, massive new walls appeared around 1230 BCE. Another warning sign. Tin supplies, imported over vast routes, may have faltered. Without steady tin, bronze production falters, despite abundant copper. Piracy, warfare, and resource scarcity, gathering clouds before the storm. Section 7. The Coming Storm. Raiders, War, and Disruption. Around 1200 BCE, a wave of violence swept the region. The Late Bronze Age collapse. Multiple causes converged. Warfare, population movements, and likely climate stress leading to famine. For Alashiya, the most direct cause was seaborne raiders, later called the Sea Peoples. Ugarit, a key partner, was destroyed and never resettled, severing a main artery for Cypriot copper. The end of a Bronze Age world wasn't a single event. It was the culmination of mounting crises. The international system broke down between 1200 and 1100 BCE. The Hittite Empire fell. Mycenaean palaces were destroyed. Egypt weakened and withdrew. Great trading cities lay in ruins. Buyers vanished. Demand for copper plummeted. Mines, smelters, and ports fell quiet. Alashiya's economic engine stopped. Rulers lost wealth and authority. The political structure dissolved. Alashiya fades from the record. Cities shrank or were abandoned. Life became more localized and impoverished. Miners, smelters, sailors, and merchants dispersed. The vibrant, international character of the coast faded. Yet the story did not end for Cyprus. Only a chapter closed. In the Iron Age, survivors mixed with newcomers, Greeks and Phoenicians, and a new society emerged. The true legacy lies in earth and clay. Ruined cities, smelting waste, rich burials, and shipwrecks like Uluburun with 10 tons of Cypriot copper. A time capsule of Alashiya's world. Alashiya shows how one resource can trigger wealth, urbanization, and power, and how interconnectedness shapes identity. But dependence on a complex system is a double-edged sword. When the network fails, even strong kingdoms fall. A geological accident created copper. Mining caused trade. Trade built cities and a state. When that world fell apart, the state collapsed. Yet its story, written in earth and clay, endures.